Luxembourg puts the Lux in Benelux, but does it have luxurious sports venues? Let's find out. Here are the stadiums and arenas of Luxembourg City. Stade Achille Amaral. This humble little football stadium was the site of a historic event. Sort of. Back in 1971 it hosted the first ever rock festival in the country's history. Unfortunately, it was interrupted by some of the neighbours calling in to complain about the noise. Those neighbours were France and Germany. That's the downside to being such a small landlocked country. It's like living in a studio apartment. Belgium was cool with it though. Anyway, the ground consists of a mix of terracing and a covered seated stand over on the southern side. On the opposite side there is some standing room and a rather prim and proper backdrop. Those nice buildings and hedges don't exactly scream rock and roll. De Coq. Firstly, if you're wondering about that slightly unusual name, it means the shell or the hull in French. And you can clearly see why they called it that. De Coq is looking very rigid and robust. De Coq is never flaccid. The complex includes several venues, including swimming pools, but we're just going to be talking about the main arena, which was part of the same original design, yet it opened 20 years after the swimming facilities did. As you can see, this is not just any arena. The seating retracts to reveal a 200-meter running track. It hosted the Games of the Small States of Europe in 2013. I remember those games fondly. Luxembourg came out on top for the first time ever. It was designed by a French architect called Roger, who designed some of the venues that we saw in the Montreal video. I like Roger's work. Stade de Luxembourg is, as you may expect, the national stadium of Luxembourg. Both the football and rugby teams play here. It cost €80 million to build, which may seem modest, but actually considering it has a capacity of less than 10,000, is pretty costly. They probably got their money's worth though. It is a lovely stadium. From the facade made of hundreds of these metal diamond-shaped panels, to the seating done up in the colours of the flag, as well as the interior lighting shining on those diamond panels. Luxembourg is the only country in the world with a red, white and blue flag, excluding the UK and the USA of course, and Russia, and France, Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Norway, Iceland, North Korea. Slovakia. That goes on for a while, I'll have to cut it off. Just this year a new tram station was built outside the stadium. Public transport is free in this country, so that is especially convenient. Stade Josy Bartel was previously the national stadium. Going from this place to Stade de Luxembourg was like going from economy class on a Ryanair flight to sitting on a bucket on a homemade raft. A major upgrade. Josy Bartel was a runner who was actually Luxembourg's first ever Olympic gold medalist, and is home to a prominent athletics club. So no surprises that there is a running track here. It won't be here for long though, not because it's becoming a football specific stadium. It is instead being demolished and will be turned into a neighbourhood called Woonquatier Stade. The stadium closed when the new one opened in 2021, but has since been reopened. I guess there's still a lot of planning work to be done before this place meets its end. Out in a northern quarter of the city called Beggen is Stade Rue Henri Dunant. It may seem like a very dull and boring stadium from above, and it is to an extent. There's a lot of uncovered terracing, but there is a loud display of club colours in some sections. A bit garish and it looks out of place, but at least it's not dull. For some reason I feel like it would attract swarms of bees. And it's a little known fact that there is one type of bee more aggressive than Africanized bees, and that's Luxembourgized bees. They don't mess around. But that's why the club has this little guy on their crest. He protects them using his magical powers. He's actually one of Ron Weasley's cousins. And those were the stadiums of Luxembourg City. My favourite was a toss-up between De Coq and Stade de Luxembourg. I'll go with the latter. It's a diamond in the rough. Well, several hundred diamonds. Thanks for watching, have a good one.